Hey, what's up, you guys? DJMama here, and we're here to cover another off-season meta for the Bum Draft server called Ubuns. So this is an Uber's reduced draft. So the big Ubers really are banned here. But before that, let's get into what we have to do here. Coaches get 150 points to spend on 10 to 11 Pokemon min-max. Understandable. Snake, obviously understandable. One board for draft. There's two drafts right now, so there's two people or two drafts of 12. So we get our own board. Post draft 24-hour transaction period. Make trades for free. Swap Pokemon. Change Terra Captains. All that nice stuff. Um. So yeah. And then Terras. There's only two to Terra Captains. Obviously more. It's Volcarona 16 points, but it'd be 26 if you can Terra it. To Terra it. So there's no Uber that can Terra. There's a few Uber mods that can Terra, but they're very, very few. But we'll see how that one goes. Next up, yeah, all this is just regular stuff, and then the clauses. No dry baton passing, so you can only baton pass. You can't do stat change baton passing, or yeah, stat passing. And then we have every clause in effect, but besides sleep. Moody, Snowcloak, and Sandvale are banned. Bright Powder, Kingsrock are banned because of Glowbro, and then luck-based moves, Acupressure, Supersonic, and Confuse are banned. So let's get into the draft, shall we? Where we were picked second overall. So I'm gonna go over my initial draft, a term during the grace period, and what happened to be my final draft. So we start off with Terra Sneasler. So Terra Sneasler with 27 points was like the max amount of points a mon could be. Like sitting in 27 points like Palkia Origin and regular Palkia. So yeah, so this is where we stand. Terra Sneasler gonna be a menace. It can Terra to anything because you have Terra. I think we're doing Terra preview. So this thing's just a menace. It can just show up, unburden, sweep something. Dire Claw is a move that Regulation G players will fear always. And yeah, so Sneasler is going to be my first pick as my Terra Captain. I went to go pick up a Tapu, but obviously in Snake Draft format, I was second pick overall, so my pick was second, and then I had to wait like 23-ish other picks. So I was getting a Tapu. I think Coco was taken, so I took Feeny instead. I didn't. I don't think I could have afforded a Lele with the plan I wanted, but it is what it is. Also, I kind of got sniped during this round when it came back to me. So, Feeny was what I chose next because I was like, all right, cool, water, fairy, defog, scald, all that nice stuff that Tapu Fini has and Primarina has. The only thing I think Tapu Fini doesn't have over Primarina is Flip Turn, but we'll see. Next up, Dialga Origin. I wanted regular Dialga, but we ended up with Dialga Origin. Not bad. Big stats, but can't hold another item besides Adamant Crystal. But, I think it's going to do what it needs to do always. He's just going to, like, rocks, come in, click, like, Draco, and then maybe go down. It will take something with some coverage, too, like Earth Power and Fire Blast. So, we'll see how this one goes. Next up, I got Terra Volcarona next. A threat of threats, for sure. OU's monster, Finchinator's worst nightmare, and this Terra Captain is hopefully going to stay. But we'll see what happens during Grace Period and Final Drafts. Delmise is what I picked up next. I wanted a Grass type next a Grass type and a Rapid Spinner or a Rapid Spinner. So I'm like, okay, this one's like both. So not only is he like a Ghost, also a Grass type, but he also is a Ghost, which is kind of nice. So I'm like, all right, we don't have to lose to like normal stuff, E-Speed monsters or Body Press guys with Delmise. Next up, our Mega. We end up with Altaria. Not a bad pick. I do like the versatility it really just brings. It can be physical, special, bulky with haze. And then also with my next pick, Heliolisk, I was like, okay, I always wanted to draft this mon. But it never really either gets to me or it doesn't fill the role on the team as well. So I wanted to draft it this time. Hopefully he stays. Next up, we have good old boy Tornadus. Torn, very strong mon. Prankster is what I was liking, and then I didn't like my matchup right now into ground, so I'm like, I gotta get my flyer. So Tornadus comes in. Next up is Slurpuff. I do like it. Slurpuff's funny. Uh, did have some play in Ubers as a sticky web lead with like Unburden and Misty Explosion, so there was how to roll there. Next up, my last two picks, because they were really expensive, was Dugtrio Alola and Arctivish. I did like how Dugtrio Alola was good during my season one, so I'm like, I'll pick it up, why not? And Arctivish is also an Ice Switch in, so I ended up picking Arctivish. So that's the team initially. It looks weird for you an Uber's draft, but I can definitely make this work. We'll see how it goes. I was definitely relying heavily on my big Terra captains. Uh, but we'll see. Next up, let's go over what I ended up changing. This is the grace period, so Sneasler stayed, Tapu Fini stayed, Origin stayed, Volcarona stayed. Delmise did not. I went up and picked up Gengar. I'm like, yeah, I need a little bit more speed, maybe more like attack. So I picked up Gengar. Heliolisk sadly didn't stay. I went to pick up Silvally, so because I was like, this mon could be anything. So there's that. Obviously, we don't have Arceus, but I would kind of like to try him. Parting Shot, Defog, he's not bad. And then we ended up getting Shiinotic at one point. I'm surprised they put him at 1 point, but we'll see how that one goes. I think Shiinotic is my guy. That's all I'll say. So that's how this draft went, and now the final draft list. So this is the team that I'm probably going to stick with for the rest of the season unless I make a drastic change. So the final draft changed a lot. Let's just say that. Obviously, let's go over Sneasler once again. My big Terra Captain, my big scary guy who's gonna Dire Claw, Gunk Shot, Close Combat, and then like Terra Blast, U-Turn, all that nice stuff. Swords Dance, Unburden, do some nasty stuff. So Sneasler stayed, and we actually got Tapu Lele. So we changed up a lot of it. So Fini leaves, we got Lele instead. Uh, Big guy, gonna do a lot of damage in psychic terrain with like tear. I can't tear this mon, but it's, psychics they gonna hit. Next up, Dialga Origin stayed. Big guy coming in. It was a little anti-synergistic with Tapu Fini, so we ended up switching, and we got Latias, Mega Latias. So kind of a big step up from Altaria. This thing does so much damage. So, and it gives me another ground resist, and it comes in, can live, do a lot of nasty stuff with like stored power. But yeah, I think this Latias will serve us very well. Shiinotic stayed during the race period. Why not? We ended up getting Great Tusk, like the number one OU mon of Gen 9 so far. I don't think it's left like top 2 of OU since Gen 9 started, because this mon just does it all. Rapid spin, uh, headlong rush, earthquake, close combat, and then sets up rocks itself. And it can also hold a booster energy, so it can just start outspeeding things or start doing a lot of damage. Next up, Goldango, another decent OU threat. Good as Gold is certainly an ability of all time. It has a massive special attack stat, and Steel Ghost. Just one of the best typings there could be. And next, we picked up an Ogerpon. Ogerpon Cornerstone is not my favorite Cornerstone mass, but I do like Sturdy with 100% with a 100 rock move with Ivy Cudgel. So I do like that a lot, and it gives me spikes. It gives me another Stealth Rocker. It gives me more U-turn, and it just gives me a lot of rock damage, which I do like. Sadly, I cannot Terra it. Didn't become my Terra Captain. Next up, we picked up Vespa Queen. Vespa Queen was just kind of a spiker. I think that's what we picked it up for. I could probably trade it in for something, maybe like like a fire type, but I think we're all right. I think Vespa Queen giving another spiker is fine. Sped's toxic. Pressure stalling. We have double pressure between it. I think it's also U-turn. I think Vespa Queen also gets U-turn, but I won't. But the last two didn't change. We still have Dr. Chill and Arctivish. Yeah. So spikes. T-Bond. Endeavor's not great. Lunch is kind of nice. Roost, lovely. And then what we go, Toxic Spikes actually is kind of nice. I do like having Toxic Spikes. Endure, there it is. We can do Endure shenanigans like Endure, Custab, Nastiness, Pollen Puff. Ooh. There's some things that you can do with this Mon. It's just not a lot, sadly. Venoshock. Lovely. So we can just like do Toxic Spikes, Spikes. Why do you get Hurricane? Sure. So we just got a bulky bug. So that's the team. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. The San Diego Shiinotics are back in business, and we actually got our Terra mascot this time. We didn't get like a mistake, so we have a Shiinotic officially now. So he's also our other Terra captain. So the only thing I could afford with the points left was a Terramon that costed the same, and I think Shiinotic was like one of the only ones. So Terra Shiinotic, love to see it. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.